And we are live. Hello, Right Club community. Thank you very much for joining me on this beautiful afternoon. And I'm thrilled to have today two great guests, so Meaghan and Enza. And they're joining us from Prince Edward County. I don't know if I was supposed to tell, but anyway. Normally you're not there though. So what are you guys up to and what do you do? Please introduce yourselves to our members and our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us. So Enza and I are real estate investors. We're also investor-focused realtors. We're with EXP, and we actually just came down for a week, couple days, to do some business planning for our business. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so we're super excited to be here, and we're so excited to be able to offer these two exclusive off-market opportunities to your members.
Excellent. We love to hear exclusive, off-market. Those are key words. And I see at the bottom you shared your contact information. So investor-focused realtors, Meaghan and Enza. And then we have your email address and phone number as well. But give us your background because you have some interesting story. We shared some wine this summer, and I heard a little bit more about your story as investors and realtors.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead?
So sure. So Meaghan and I actually share like a common sort of background in the sense that we were in corporate. So we kind of have a similar story to you, François. And we were investors and excited about what we were doing, and then excited to be able to transition. So for me, it's about 4 years ago when I was able to leave my full-time job. And then I transitioned and became an investor-focused realtor. And we trained and learned a lot and got a lot of exposure. And we've been working primarily with investors. So, with cash flowing opportunities, helping investors with 2-unit properties, multi-unit properties, guiding them through the whole conversion process. Because, as investors, our clients like to cash flow. So with a single family home, you can no longer really do that anymore, right? So along the way, we've been selling in different markets, right? Like Hamilton, Brantford, the Niagara region, KW, like Kitchener-Waterloo. But a lot of our clients got priced out of some of those markets, especially Hamilton, right?
Yes.
When COVID hit, so many people left the city, right? They left Toronto. They didn't want to be in these condos anymore. And Hamilton took a lot of those. A lot of people went to Hamilton. A lot of people went to Niagara. So Niagara became very popular, number one place to invest while the whole pandemic was going on. A lot of people were moving out there. And I'll go in and maybe say a little bit about why we love the Niagara region for our investors.
Yeah, what's up with Niagara?
So what's up with Niagara? What isn't up? Like, honestly, so gorgeous there. Well, first of all, it's gorgeous. We're obsessed with it. Like, we're constantly out there.
All the time.
We do a bulk of our business there because it's still affordable. So, there's the old saying in real estate where you need to get ahead of the tracks. If you want to make great natural appreciation. So in Niagara, we're ahead of the tracks. So in the GTA area, the GO train now has gotten as far. They've built up into Storton Creek at Centennial Parkway. They're moving next into Grimsby area. And then they're going into St. Catharines and Niagara Falls. So by positioning yourself in this market, you are getting ahead of that. I think
the real track.
Right? So, and then it's like Niagara has so much to offer, and this is why people love it out there. So, of course, it's surrounded by the wineries. It's got amazing restaurants, right? Which was like farm to table culinary experiences, right? You've got beautiful like boutique hotel experiences. Like you can go to the spa, you can enjoy it in that way. There's great golfing. There's beautiful hiking trails, right? So all along the Bruce Trail meanders all the way behind like the whole Niagara region, right? So
that's true.
There's shopping, there's the historic village of Niagara-on-the-Lake, there's the outlet malls, the proximity to the border.
Yes.
So, one of my clients, she was living in Fort Erie and working in Buffalo. So she was living on the Canadian side and earning in American dollars. So proximity to the border, right? Like that was fun, right? That's great. Well, these are so many reasons why we love Niagara, and our clients are doing super well there.
Excellent. And what about, like you mentioned, employment? So most people that live in Niagara, where do they work? Is it a good employer base? Because I always look at fundamentals.
Yes.
And is there lots of work there, or people commute to Toronto, or what's the deal?
Well, I mean, with the way things have changed with COVID, I know what I've seen. I mean, I've had a few clients who, like as Enza was mentioning, they were living in Mississauga or Toronto, but their maybe hometown or where they grew up was Niagara, and they've actually moved back and relocated
Oh, nice.
to St. Catharines, Welland, because they couldn't afford to buy living in Mississauga and Toronto.
No.
Now, because their work is remote, they can work from those areas, and it's really been, a blessing for them because they can become homeowners and or investors and yet still keep their job in the city.
Yeah, and commute is not too bad if it's occasional.
Right.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 days a week. It's absolutely doable.
Yeah, and of course, like one of the properties that we're going to mention and talk to you about today is in Welland. And Welland, like the people don't understand the exciting fundamentals of Welland and the infrastructure that's there. So of course, you've got the Welland Canal, right? There's
Yes.
tons of manufacturing in Welland. It connects you. That Welland Canal connects Canada to so many American states. It's like a 9-hour drive from Welland to like 7 of the most important cities in the United States in terms of logistics and transportation.
Well, it's a good location. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Welland has a really large general manufacturing area. Like they do aerospace, so shipbuilding, transportation and equipment. There's also Niagara College. So the Niagara College is North Welland, and there's also a campus in Niagara-on-the-Lake. And, you have Brock University too in St. Catharines.
That's excellent. So lots, again, good fundamentals, higher education,
Yes.
good location, good weather as well. I'm in Ottawa, so anything's better.
Yeah, it is quite mild there. It's so funny that you mentioned the weather. So oftentimes I'd be showing properties in Niagara, and then I live in Burlington. And as soon as I come over the Sky Bridge,
It's
there's
a whole
this huge
different.
cloud. I'm like, I want to go back, right?
Yes.
I mean, the other thing that's going on in Welland is there is a significant amount of residential development that's going to be on the horizon. So just in some of the research I've done, I've seen that like big home builders, like say Empire Homes, they've purchased like big plots of land that they're going to be building in the future, like master plan communities. So
Oh, wow. That's good news for the community.
yeah, and that's great news for the investor because that means like, expected appreciation on the horizon and more supply and likely more demand with more people moving to Niagara. Yeah.
And the thing that I always explain to people, right? Because most of the people that we deal with, they're coming from the GTA as investors, right? So
Yes.
when I used to live in Mississauga, it would literally take me maybe an hour and 20 minutes to get from one end of Mississauga to the other.
Wow.
And the region of Peel is huge, right?
Yeah.
When you come to the region of Niagara, it's very, very small. So you could Welland is a bedroom community for St. Catharines and Niagara Falls. You can literally work and live anywhere in the Niagara region, and it's a very small commute. It's small. There's not the same traffic that there is like in the city in Hamilton and like Halton where we're from, right? So it's still more of like sort of like a hometown kind of
more livable, good for families. And
Great for
it's
families.
pleasant, but you have the amenities as well. So what kind of tenant base would you have as well? So that's another important aspect, like who rents out there?
That's such a good question. I remember when I sold, like last year, I sold this townhouse to one of our clients. They're both professionals, and they literally asked me that. And I said, you'd be surprised of the number of professionals that actually live and work in the Niagara region. And so then I circled back to her and I said, who did you end up renting your house to, right? And she said they were both rocket scientists. Now I thought she was joking.
Real ones.
Said, okay, come on. Like seriously? She's like, no, they really are
serious.
rocket scientists from Brock University. And I was like, I told you there were good tenants
wow.
in that area.
That's great. So so you can expect then young professionals, people looking to get established in the community. Sometimes they want to rent for a while and get to know the place before buying a house. So
another thing we're seeing is, people, so two things. People are leaving the city kind of as we've talked about. So
Yeah.
in doing some of the rentals that I've done for some of my clients, I do see lots of people leaving, say, Hamilton, Burlington, moving out to Niagara. The other thing that we see is baby boomers selling their homes and then living on their equity. So this first property we're going to show you in Welland, it's like set up perfectly for that because it's a bungalow. So the top floor, it's all one floor living, which is perfect for, you know, people aging, their knees are bad. It's like easy for them to accommodate the bungalow.
Even I like it one floor at my house the other house, all one floor, it's convenient. So it's good for most people.
Exactly.
It really, really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we can pull that up now, François, if you want.
Yes, please.
So sort of our brochure. So oftentimes when Meaghan and I are wanted to sort of promote a property to people, we sort of set it up in this way. We put together a nice little brochure. We talk about the property and like some economics and fundamentals. And that way people have a snapshot. It's easier for them to sort of make a decision, right? Okay, and then, of course, we could take them to it.
Perfect. And there you go. We have it here. It looks nice, and it's brand new, so it's a new build.
Okay,
purpose built.
Yes. Yeah, so this is gorgeous because it is brand new. So this is a brand new property, beautiful in North Welland, a beautiful neighborhood. It's super gorgeous, as you can see. It's being offered at $779,900. So what's nice about, we work with these smaller builders and we sort of ask them if they can put together these 2-unit purpose-built properties for us because we know our clients love them, right? So what this particular property is offering is this guaranteed rental income of $3,600 per month for 1 year by the builder. And what we mean by that is, so what the builder is doing in this situation is he's very confident of the rents and he wants anybody that buys the property to be confident of the rents as well. And so he would make up any shortfall if there was any for the first year.
Okay.
But we don't anticipate any. So it kind of gives people like a great way to be able to invest and feel that security, right? So what's nice about this is it's a raised bungalow. So oftentimes that's what we'll ask our builders to build is these nice raised bungalows. So you have these huge windows on the lower unit, lots of natural light. So the upper unit would be about 920 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. They're self-sufficient units. So we always have an in-suite laundry in each unit so that both units are completely independent and self-sufficient from each other. And then the lower unit, as I mentioned, it's raised, it's got beautiful, lots of windows, lots of natural light. It's also a nice 2-bedroom unit with 1 bathroom and in-suite laundry. So, I mean, these are kind of hard to read, so we'll just pass forward from these.
But I mean, one thing that's differentiated in this particular property, the lower unit is one of the largest lower units I've ever seen. So it has a very large living area and kitchen, and then 2 big bedrooms at the back with the bathroom. So oftentimes we'll see a lower unit, but it'll be maxed out at say 600
Yeah, they
square
tend
feet.
to be small.
Yeah, whereas this one is very large. And I mean, the other thing about this property too is that it's located literally a 5-minute walk to Niagara College. So we really have that full student population that would be like ideal renters for that lower unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, we're looking at, monthly income for the upper and the lower of about $3,600 a month, and then an estimated cash flow of just over $400. So, where these are inclusive rents, and, there's an opportunity to perhaps sort of pass some of the utilities onto the tenant, but we like, in our projections, we like to be very conservative. So that we, under promise kind of thing, right? So
and over deliver.
Exactly.
Yes. Is it separately metered or it's 1 meter for the house?
This particular one isn't, but the next one that we're going to show you is.
Okay.
But that's a good question. And we try to get that done when we can, but sometimes we approach the builder, it's already almost built, and then he's not prepared to do that. But I mean, something you could invest in and do, but this particular one doesn't. And the other thing that's very important too, François, is we're really picky with the finishes. We want beautiful finishes because that's sort of how we attract that higher tenant profile.
Yes.
So you've got gorgeous vinyl plank throughout. You've got these beautiful custom kitchens with quartz countertops, right? beautiful vanities, with quartz counters in the bathrooms, oak staircases, pot lights throughout. So really, really nice finishes. That's super important in terms of that higher tenant profile. Yeah. So this is the one. So we've got this one available in Welland, and now Meaghan's going to speak to this one here in St. Catharines.
Great. So this one is a legally registered 2-unit property in St. Catharines. It will be Tarion warranted as well. So it's also a similar style. So it's this raised bungalow style. It's going to have really nice like stone in the front and vinyl siding on the exterior. This one is offered, you'll see it's a little bit higher. So it's offered at $849,000. And it is very typical. So St. Catharines does have a higher price point than Welland does. So that's one of the reasons. The other reasons is that it is registered with the city as a 2-unit property. So that in itself carries a big premium, just to let you and your kind of listeners know. So that's what the increase in price is.
And especially in St. Catharines, like I know a lot of your, François, a lot of your listeners are going to be familiar and know that St. Catharines has very strict and high sort of standards in terms of registering a second unit. So it does push the cost for our builders up. And one of the guys that I work with, he does a lot of conversions, and then he'll bring them to me to sell to my clients. And he'll tell me, listen, Enza, I do conversions all over Ontario. And of course, the Ontario Building Code is for the province of Ontario, but St. Catharines makes me do things that no other city does. So he's like, I just don't get it.
They go above and beyond.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they all interpret it a little bit differently. The municipality interprets it a bit differently. So they'll have different standards.
Totally.
And this is a bigger unit, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms upstairs. Downstairs a little bit smaller, but that's okay too. I mean, you could have a family and then a student or someone else.
Yeah. So this one's like 1,200 square foot it's on the upper level, but then also a portion of the upper level also has like some of the downstairs.
Oh, cool.
I'm not sure if you guys have seen that before. Yeah. So it is nice though to have a bit more space. And when you have a 3-bedroom, that's very much set up for a family, right? Like husband, wife, and 2 kids, or 1 kid in an office nowadays. So it's like the ideal setup for sure. Again, it has the in-suite laundry, and this one has a nice like covered deck out the back off the living space. And then in the lower level, it does have this 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit, again with in-suite laundry and all of that. Now, these again get very difficult to read, so we're just going to slip over them. But there's the main floor and then a lower level unit. And if we look at the economics, so it's very similar, about $3,700 a month in monthly rent. This one, though, it does have 2 separate hydro meters. So yeah, so the nice thing about that for your listeners and for investors is that the tenant will actually put the bill for the electricity in their own name with the community or with the hydro company. So that's an expense that won't even be on the investor's income statement or anything. So that's really nice.
So this cash flow would even be higher.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we have it factored in, but yes, it's about $500 a month in positive cash flow, which, to be honest, these days is very good. Like, prices have gone up, right? Rents have kept up as well, right? We've seen a big increase in rents, but getting about $500 a month in positive cash flow is excellent.
With a brand new property too.
It is.
That's a big factor because people get low cash flow, and usually it's an older property that's been fixed or renovated. This is brand new. So
exactly. So here, like, you're not going to have to do anything for probably 10 to 15 years. Like, you're going to want to paint after 5 years, but realistically, you're not going to do windows, a roof, a furnace, all of the major things that cost a lot of money in a property. They're going to last you a significant amount of time. And like one thing that we've seen, because we've sold many of these types of properties, like the new builds that are either registered 2 units or unregistered, and the appreciation that we've seen just even in the past, like for people that have bought them 1 or 2 years ago, has really been exceptional. honestly. Like some people say, oh, they're very expensive. But I just say like, they still see the appreciation and it's at
Yes.
a very strong rate.
For sure. And the thing that's exciting about this one as well, François, is that this one is a true pre-construction. It's not going to be ready for another 8 to 9 months. So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, so
You're really securing that price because by then it could be $1 million by the
it's
time
not,
it's
yeah,
released.
exactly.
Yeah, who knows?
And not only that, what's really cool is all you have to put down is $25,000. That's it until closing. So our clients love these as well because it's such a
Yes.
minimal deposit to secure this. And then you're right, by the time it's built in the next, let's call it 9 to 12 months, you're already going to have that capital appreciation because you've bought pre-construction. So with this one here, it's kind of, that's a nice opportunity here for people who are not really ready to close at this time, because the first one that we showed in Welland, that's going to be closing at the end of November. So
Okay.
that's for someone who's ready to make a decision now. But this one is very exciting because it's not going to be closing for 9 months, probably to a year. So all they need to do is put $25,000 down, and then it secures the property for them.
That's excellent. And is there HST, because these are new construction? Is that something?
Yeah.
Okay, I know you can recuperate and all that, but something to factor in as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a net negative, like net neutral to the investor. So,
Yes.
so what they'll have to do is if you're buying a new construction in Ontario and you're not moving into it, you'll need to pay, in this situation with these, the way it would be structured is that you would pay the additional $24,000 on closing. And then to
Claim
qualify
it.
for the new residential rental property rebate, I think is the acronym that they use. I can't keep it straight.
Nice long name.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. They, you'll supply your agreement of purchase and sale, you'll supply your form for the CRA, and you'll supply your leases, your completed leases, signed leases. And then you basically mail that to the government. And then, in 6 to 8 weeks, they send you that $24,000 back. So, you have to come up with it on closing, but you get it back shortly, within 3 or 4 months.
And the reality is that's for people who are true investors. But let's say, for example, any of your clients or listeners, François, if they wanted something like this and they want to occupy, it's owner occupied, the top unit or the main unit, and rent out the bottom, then that wouldn't be an impact to them.
Okay.
Yeah,
excellent.
The builder would get the rebate directly and it would work it that way.
Perfect. Yeah, it's great if somebody wants to do house hacking, like a young family, and you have a basement suite helping you pay for the mortgage. It's great.
It is.
For sure.
For sure. It's just become so expensive. So it's really a great option.
It's almost
so
like
many options.
Circle, because I remember when my parents first came from Italy, I mean, that's how they afforded their first place, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they had somebody in the basement, and it's almost like it's come full circle. And you need that separate sort of help sometimes for a family or a young couple when they're starting out. But a property like this is so beautiful and it's completely set up for it. So there's nothing for people to do but just move in
and unpack.
And enjoy. That's great. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Lots of background information. And you can really tell you're experts. You know your market and the product inside out. So what's the best way for people to join you, to contact you? I guess that's the bottom here.
Yeah, so it's like we've got our contact information here. And also, if anybody is further interested in this property, I will be showcasing the property on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So people could either email us directly or email you, and then we could give them the address. They could meet us there to the one in Welland, because that one is almost complete and available to show. Also, what we could do and what we do for some of our clients sometimes that are out of the city, we will do like a FaceTime tour if someone's interested. Because let's say you're from the Ottawa region, if anyone's from there and would like to buy something like this, we'd be happy to sort of do like a FaceTime tour of the property and show them that way. So however they want,
Yeah, and I think the other aspect of that, just to touch on, because we do really provide a full service for our clients. So if people are buying out of city, we do have relationships with property managers already set up. So we could make it totally turnkey for someone if they wanted to buy.
Great. We have members from other provinces. So
we can we can totally make it a turnkey investment for them and really support them along the way. We do a lot of that with most of our clients.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we work with a great sort of property manager, and he'll do fills for us. And he's from the area, very strong in the area, knows the area very well, has a ton of experience. We'll also property manage it for them if they want, or just fill it for them. So this way people can just have it without having any worries.
Yeah, with the peace of mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's great. What about Airbnb? That's probably a question that's going to come up. Is it allowed in Welland or?
So it's not allowed in Welland, but it is allowed in St. Catharines. So
Okay.
in St. Catharines, it's an option, but not in Welland at this time.
There you go. Question answered. Perfect. That's excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing this amazing opportunity. And I invite everybody to contact you and find out more about these opportunities or something else in the future. We were chatting earlier about other properties because you do resell as well, and existing properties. You can assist people mostly in the Niagara region. That's your focus, but definitely you look out for investors. So that's excellent.
For investors. So Hamilton, Brantford, Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge. So Meaghan's from here, as she was mentioning before. She grew up here, so she'll sell in this area because she loves it. So
I do serve like Prince Edward County and the Quinte area. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So what's really cool is because most realtors are just traditionally focused in a small little area, but because we are investor focused, we go all over. Yeah,
you have to cover a wider range because investment properties are not, it's not every property. As we mentioned earlier, a single family home doesn't always work anymore.
Right.
So you need something with a basement suite or duplex or something else. So
exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
That's excellent. Great. Well, thank you so much and have a great evening. Can't wait to see you at our next Right Club event.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, François.
Much.
We really appreciate this opportunity, and we hope to hear from some of your listeners.
Yes, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.